Michael Jackson was found not guilty in court. Let's be clear about it. A jury heard the evidence, a trial happened, a verdict was given, but now Netflix is bringing out a docuseries and fans are asking a serious question. Is this really about documenting the trial? Or is this about putting Michael Jackson back on trial in public? Because a courtroom gives you a legal verdict, but a documentary can shape an emotional one. And that's where this gets dangerous. Let's get to it. Cue the clip.
This that Raymundo Reacts, huh? Y'all came in for the laughs, huh? You did. Stay for the commentary cause it makes sense, huh? Real talk.
That boy is good.
And this is Mr. Jackson's main area. Are there any secret rooms?
He's the most famous man in the world, being accused of the most heinous crime in the world.
An arrest warrant for Mr. Jackson has been issued.
Is he guilty or is he not guilty? Finally, we're going to get some answers.
Now see, that right there, that's the issue. When the trailer frames it like guilty or innocent, you decide, that sounds dramatic. It sounds pretty much like good television. It sounds like a hook. But here's the problem. The public is not the jury. Netflix is not the courtroom. And the documentary is not due process. Michael Jackson already had his day in court. That doesn't mean everybody has to like him. That doesn't mean everybody has to believe the same thing. That doesn't mean people can't ask questions. But that does mean we have to be honest about what this is. Because when a major platform reopens a case after the legal system already gave it a verdict, it stops being just a documentary. Now it becomes a public retrial. And the scariest part about that is simple. In court, evidence has rules. In media, emotion wins. That's the difference.
Here we go. Here's the audio. Let's listen.
Superior Court of the State of California for the County of Santa Barbara, Santa Maria Division. The people of the State of California plaintiff versus Michael Joe Jackson defendant. Case number 1133603. Count 1 verdict. We, the jury in the above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of conspiracy as charged in count 1 of the indictment. Dated June 13th, 2005. Foreperson number 80. Count 2 verdict. We, the jury in the above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of a lewd act upon a minor child as charged in count 2 of the indictment. Count 10 verdict, lesser offense. We, the jury in the above entitled case, find the defendant not guilty of providing alcoholic beverages to persons under the age of 21, a lesser included offense of that charge in count 10 of the indictment.
That clip matters because the court, they didn't say maybe. The jury didn't say we don't know. The legal verdict was not guilty. Now, I'm choosing my words carefully here. I'm not saying proven innocent because legally, that's not how the system works. What I'm saying is this: the prosecution had to prove guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and they didn't. So when Netflix comes back years later and frame it like the audience still needs to decide, fans are looking at that like, what are we deciding again? That's the frustration, because allegations can follow someone forever, but acquittals, well, they don't get the same energy. The accusation gets headlines. The trial gets headlines. The scandal gets headlines. But when the person's found not guilty, that part gets treated like fine print. And for Michael Jackson fans, that's the wound. They feel like the media never accepted the verdict. They just waited for a new way to repackage the doubt.
I need to file a complaint.
What happened?
Because I'm just going down y'all thing, and y'all putting a documentary out about Michael Jackson, and if y'all do that, I'm gonna cancel my Netflix right now. I swear to God, I don't play about Michael Jackson. So as soon as you do knock that, you need to tell your boss or whoever you work for, put this complaint in, because everybody in this world, if you go on TikTok, if you go on Instagram, y'all drop that documentary June 3rd, and it's bad stuff about Michael Jackson, we all gonna boycott Netflix, and we gonna make sure nobody has a job. So this affects you too.
Now some people, they're gonna watch that and say, man, these fans, they're doing too much. But I don't think it's that simple, because to them, this isn't just about one documentary. This is about a pattern. Every time Michael Jackson's legacy starts to breathe again, something comes along to drag the legacy back to the allegations. A movie creates new interest. Younger fans, well, they start to notice. People start talking about the artistry again, the dancing, the videos, the impact, the catalog, the influence. Then boom, here comes another documentary, another investigation style trailer, another you decide moment. So the reaction, it's not just anger, it's fatigue. It's people saying, how many times are we gonna do this? And that's why the timing matters. Because if the docuseries is truly about history, then fine. But if it's being positioned to ride the wave of the renewed Michael Jackson attention, then fans are gonna call that out. And honestly, they have the right to. Now Netflix has the right to release a documentary, but the audience has the right to question the framing. Both things can be true. Here's where I think the conversation gets bigger. A courtroom gives a legal verdict. A documentary gives an emotional verdict. And emotional verdicts are powerful because most people aren't going to read the transcripts of the court. Most people aren't going to study witness testimony. Most people aren't going to sit down and compare evidence. They're going to watch a trailer. They're going to watch reaction shots. They're going to watch selective interviews. They're going to watch editing. And then they're going to walk away with a feeling. That feeling becomes the verdict. That's why documentary framing matters. Now, you can say something is neutral. You can say something is balanced. You can also say something is just asking questions. But the way you ask the question can already shape the answer. If you ask, was he innocent? That's one thing. But if you ask, was the jury wrong? That creates a different feeling. If you say the verdict is still controversial, that creates a different feeling. If you say guilty or innocent, you decide, that turns the viewer into the jury. And that's what fans are reacting to. They're not just reacting to the existence of the documentary. They're reacting to the possibility that Netflix is using their format of journalism to create the feeling of suspicion. That's different.
Michael has claimed that what TV journalist Martin Bashir presented was a twisted and edited construction of scandal and innuendo, not a true representation of the interviews that actually took place.
Do you think that your success has actually made people turn against you?
The bigger the star, the bigger the target. And the more popular I became, the more rumors that were created, none of which were true. I mean, the moment I started breaking the all-time records of the biggest selling albums of all time, they called me weird overnight, strange, wacko. They said I'm a girl, homosexual. He wants to buy the Elephant Man bones. He sleeps in a hyperbaric chamber. None of that stuff is true.
This is why people don't trust the framing, because Michael Jackson's public image was not only shaped in court, it was shaped by interviews, by headlines, by documentaries, by edited moments. It was shaped by people deciding what the public should see and what they should feel. And once the media creates a version of somebody, it's hard to escape that version. That's the part people don't like to admit. The public doesn't always remember the facts. The public remembers the feeling. And for Michael, the feeling was created over decades. He's a genius. Strange, powerful, damaged, accused, misunderstood, targeted. All those ideas were blended together. So now, every documentary is not entering from a neutral space. It's entering a battlefield. One side says, leave the man alone. He was acquitted. The other side says, we still have questions. And Netflix knows that tension sells. That's the part that bothers people. Because if Michael Jackson was so irrelevant, why does his name still move subscriptions? Why does his legacy still drive trailers? Why does his image still create global debate? Because his name still has power, and platforms know it. To tell you the truth, this is bigger than Michael Jackson. This is about who controls a legacy after someone's gone. Is it the court? Is it the family? Is it the fans? Is it the estate? Is it the media? Or is it whatever platform has the biggest reach? because once a person dies, they can't defend themselves. They can't clarify. They can't respond. They can't say that was taken out of context. They can't say that's not what happened. They can't sit across from an interviewer and push back. So the people left behind fight over the memory. And that's exactly what this is. This is a fight over memory. Netflix is not just releasing content. They're stepping into a war on how Michael Jackson should be remembered. And that's why this topic is so emotional. Because for fans, Michael Jackson is not just a celebrity. He's a part of their childhood, part of Black music history, part of pop culture history, part of global entertainment history. So when they feel like this name is being dragged again, they react like they're defending something personal. And whether you agree with them or not, you have to understand why they feel that way. So here's my final verdict. Netflix has a right to make the documentary. Viewers have the right to watch it. People have the right to question Michael Jackson's legacy. But fans also have the right to ask, is this journalism or is this reputation warfare? Because there's a difference in revisiting history and reopening wounds for content. There's a difference between documenting a trial and making the audience feel like the trial never ended. There's a difference between asking hard questions and pretending the court's questions never happened. Michael Jackson was found not guilty. Now I get it. That doesn't erase every debate, but it should matter. Because if a verdict doesn't matter once the media decides to keep asking the same question, then what was the point of the trial? That's the real issue. Not whether people are allowed to talk about Michael. They are. The issue is whether the public is being invited to evaluate evidence or emotionally retry a dead man. And a lot of fans are believing that Netflix is doing the second one. But I want to know what y'all think. Is Netflix just documenting the trial, or are they putting Michael Jackson back on trial in public? And if someone was already found not guilty in court, how many times in media should they be allowed to reopen the case? Drop it in the comments. If you want to stay locked in, hit that sub to the right and to the left for more dope content. Don't forget to hype this video up. Till next time, I'm out.
This that Raymundo Reacts, huh? Y'all came in for the laughs, huh? You did. Stay for the commentary cause it makes sense, huh? Real talk.
That boy is good.